Hello and welcome to Quiz Class. I'm your host Ellen, and today we have 100 questions on general knowledge. Let's take a look at our Quiz Class awards. Let us know how you rank in the comments at the end, along with the answer to the bonus question. And let's begin. What New York City landmark institution opened just days after the 1929 Wall Street crash? The Empire State Building, the Museum of Modern Art, or the Brooklyn Bridge? The Museum of Modern Art. Which South American coup ousted a socialist president and led to a dictatorship? Peru, Chile, or Bolivia? Chile. Where was Fyodor Dostoevsky when he published the novel The Brothers Karamazov? Switzerland, Italy, or Turkey? Switzerland. In which country was the Rosetta Stone found? Egypt, Libya, or Tunisia? Egypt. Which studio release is often called the beginning of the concept album era? The Jimi Hendrix Experience, the Velvet Underground, or the Beatles' Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band? The Beatles' Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band. Which three countries does Mount Roraima sit on the border of? Colombia, Brazil, Peru, Bolivia, Brazil, Paraguay, or Venezuela, Brazil, and Guyana? Venezuela, Brazil, and Guyana. Which Bernardo Bertolucci film became one of Europe's most expensive productions? The Sheltering Sky, Little Buddha, or The Last Emperor? The Last Emperor. What nostalgic card game focuses on years past and trends? Sentimentality, Time Machine, or Decades and Nostalgia? Decades and Nostalgia. Which artist's studio was called The Factory? Salvador Dali, Andy Warhol, or Pablo Picasso? And the answer is Andy Warhol. We are on question 10. Which principal organ of the United Nations are all member states a part of? Union Assembly, Central Assembly, or General Assembly? The General Assembly. Which philosopher wrote The Spirit of the Laws? René Descartes, Voltaire, or Montesquieu? Montesquieu. What didn't Leonardo da Vinci sketch early designs for? Bicycle, tank, or helicopters? The bicycle. Which singer from the Mamas and the Papas was known for her powerful contralto voice? Belle Stevens, Cass Elliot, or Dottie Ballantyne? Cass Elliot. Which Indian Ocean archipelago is famous for biodiversity and the vanilla orchid, sorry, Seychelles, Lakshadweep, or Madagascar? And the answer is Madagascar. Which actress became the first woman of color to win Best Actress for Monsters Ball? Regina King, Tracy Ellis Ross, or Halle Berry? Halle Berry. Which cultural movement was the Mini Cooper car an icon of, including use in the film The Italian Job? Punk, hippie, or mod? Mod. Which Greek military formation used interlocking shields? Trimei, Peltast, or Phalanx? Phalanx. What font is used in Google's logo? Digital Sans, Product Sans, or Swivel Sans? Product Sans. What material makes pink and red glass? Iron oxide, gold oxide, or cobalt oxide? Gold oxide. We are on question 20. Which country's 1952 revolution ended its monarchy? Albania, Egypt, or Ireland? Egypt. Which poet wrote Because I Could Not Stop for Death? Gwendolyn Brooks, Emily Dickinson, or Sylvia Plath? Emily Dickinson. In which modern country is the ancient city of Petra? Lebanon, Iran, or Jordan? And the answer is Jordan. Which Carole King song was the theme of the television series Gilmore Girls? Where You Lead, You Light Up My Life, or You've Got a Friend? Where You Lead. Who wasn't one of the explorers who charted the southern sky accurately? Peter Kaiser, Willem Schouten, or Frederick de Houtman? Willem Schouten. As of 2025, which film director isn't a billionaire? Peter Jackson, James Cameron, or Steven Spielberg? And the answer is James Cameron. What folklore inspired the original story series behind the Labubu plush toys and accessories? Nordic, Chinese, or Mexican? Nordic. What is Salvador Dali's Melting Clocks painting called? The Weight of Time, The Persistence of Memory, or The Still and Spotless Mind? And the answer is The Persistence of Memory. Going on to question 28, which Scandinavian country pioneered the modern welfare state model? Denmark, Norway, or Sweden? Sweden. Which trilogy did Egyptian writer Naguib Mahfouz pen? The Cairo Papers, the Cairo Omnibus, or the Cairo Trilogy? The Cairo Trilogy. In which country is Akkad, the lost capital city of the Akkadian Empire, thought to be? In Syria, in Armenia, or in Iraq? Iraq. Which singer won 5 Grammys for Come On Over? Christina Aguilera, Shania Twain, or Tori Amos? Shania Twain. Make sure to tell us in the comments how you're doing so far. In which country is Tabana Denyana, the highest mountain in southern Africa? Eswatini, Lesotho, or South Africa? Lesotho. Which director-actor pair hasn't defined modern cinema collaborations? Martin Scorsese and Leonardo DiCaprio, Martin Scorsese and George Clooney, or Martin Scorsese and Robert De Niro? Scorsese and Clooney. Which vehicle inspired the Toyota's Land Cruiser's design? Land Rover, Range Rover, Jeep Willys MV, or Volkswagen Hubelwagen? Jeep Willys MV. Which DC memorial drew controversy for its minimalist design? The World War II Memorial, the Korean War Veterans Memorial, or the Vietnam Veterans Memorial? The Vietnam Veterans Memorial. What symbol represents wireless device activity? Wi-Fi, Play, or Bluetooth? Bluetooth. Which Roy Lichtenstein artwork was a symbol of the pop art movement? Rich Mickey, Snap Mickey, or Look Mickey? Look Mickey. Who was the first U.S. president to travel to Europe while in office? Harry Truman, Dwight Eisenhower, or Woodrow Wilson? Woodrow Wilson. Question 39. What was Giuseppe Tomasi di Lampedusa's story of Sicilian aristocracy's decline? The panther, the leopard, or the jaguar? The leopard. Which Roman ruler is linked to the first destruction of the Library of Alexandria? Maximinus Thrax, Julius Caesar, or Severus Alexander? Julius Caesar. Which 1990s group led by Lauryn Hill merged hip-hop and soul? The Roots, the Hills, or the Fugees? The Fugees. Where is Palk Strait? New Zealand, Cambodia, or India? And the answer, India. Moving right along, which actress produced and starred in Yentl? Shelley Winters, Goldie Hawn, or Barbara Streisand? Barbara Streisand. What inexpensive diner meal became known as a nickel lunch? The cheeseburger, the hot dog, or macaroni and cheese? The hot dog. Complete Diego Rivera's mural title. Man at the Impasse, Crossroads, or Unknown? And it is Man at the Crossroads. Next up, which London address bears First Lord of the Treasury on its letterbox? Buckingham Palace, Westminster Abbey, or 10 Downing Street? Downing Street. Which isn't a sequel to Louisa May Alcott's novel, Little Women? Family Boys, Good Wives, or Little Men? Family Boys. Which empire's Mediterranean naval power was expanded under Admiral Hayreddin Barbarossa? Venetian, Ottoman, or Carthaginian? Ottoman. Which rock band released the album The Joshua Tree? Radiohead, Coldplay, or U2? U2. And we are on question 50. What is named after the scientist Marie Tharp, whose work included mapping the ocean floor? A glacier, a star, or an island? A glacier. Which film won all 5 major Academy Awards in 1991? The Titanic, The Silence of the Lambs, or Forrest Gump? The Silence of the Lambs. Question 52. Which car company did Horatio Pagani leave before founding Pagani Automobili? Maserati, Lamborghini, or Ferrari? Lamborghini. Whose dialogues reflected Athens' fall after the Peloponnesian War? Plato, Socrates, or Aristotle? Plato. Where was the dueling dinosaurs fossil found? Montana, Maine, or Minnesota? Montana. Which city is closest to Jupiter Artland Sculpture Park? Edinburgh, Cardiff, or London? And that would be Edinburgh. From which country was the brandy Joseph Stalin served at the Yalta summit? Armenia, France, or Greece? Armenia. Who was the first African writer to win the Nobel Prize in Literature? J.M. Coetzee, Abdul Razak Gurnah, or Wole Soyinka? Wole Soyinka. What innovation did the Crystal Palace showcase? Wood and glass architecture, brick and glass architecture, or prefabricated iron and glass architecture? Prefabricated iron and glass architecture. Who is the frontwoman of the music group Blondie? Debbie Harry, Cyndi Lauper, or Carly Simon? Debbie Harry. In which country is Simien Mountains National Park located? Ethiopia, Eritrea, or Equatorial Guinea? Ethiopia. Moving on to question 61. What type of hat was worn by Charlie Chaplin's tramp character? A bowler hat, a trilby hat, or a paddy cap? A bowler hat. What is the predominant color in Gustav Klimt's The Kiss painting? Golden yellow, burgundy red, or cobalt blue? Golden yellow. Which San Francisco district was the epicenter of the Summer of Love? Haight-Ashbury, Union Square, or Mission Dolores? Haight-Ashbury. Who served as the first president of the European Commission? Wilbur Hamburg, Walter Hallstein, or Wellesley Hink? Walter Hallstein. Next up, complete the original title of Mary Shelley's novel, Frankenstein. The modern Olympus, the modern Prometheus, or the modern Icarus? The modern Prometheus. Which shogunate fell during Japan's Meiji Restoration? Kamakura, Ashikaga, or Tokugawa? Tokugawa. Which rock band was the musician Bjork the frontwoman of? The Icebergs, the Sugar Cubes, or the Cloud Drops? The Sugar Cubes. Which Pacific island chain is known for volcanoes and coral atolls? The Kuril Islands, Auckland Islands, or Hawaiian Islands? The Hawaiian Islands. Which film studio did Sophia Loren have a 5-picture contract with? Paramount, MGM, or Warner Brothers? Paramount. Question 70. What system let Mongol armies communicate across vast distances? A watchtower system, a horse system, or relay courier network? A relay courier network. What color is an airplane black box? Bright yellow, bright orange, or bright red? It is bright orange. What type of artist was Louise Bourgeois? She was a sculptor. What was Nelson Mandela's first name at birth? Madiba, Mcgafo, or Rolil Ahla? Rolil Ahla. Which Austrian writer authored The Man Without Qualities? Karl Kraus, Robert Musil, or Hermann Bahr? Robert Musil. What did Joseph Banks document during Captain Cook's voyage? What did Joseph Banks document during Captain Cook's voyage? Plant species, water samples, or animal species? Plant species. Which country is Chanson a traditional song of? Belgium, Switzerland, or France? France. From which country's mines are the world's highest quality diamonds sourced? Canada, Botswana, or Russia? Russia. Which actress revived her career with Whatever Happened to Baby Jane? Ingrid Bergman, Bette Davis, or Joan Crawford? Bette Davis. Which fashion trend defined the 1980s yuppie era? Stilettos, briefcases, or power suits? Power suits. We're already at 80. What is Yayoi Kusama's signature painting series called? Collective Light Posts, Tomorrow Worlds, or Infinity Nets? Infinity Nets. Which U.S. president worked as a high school lifeguard? Jimmy Carter, George H.W. Bush, or Ronald Reagan? And the answer is Ronald Reagan. Which navigator's expedition first circumnavigated the globe? Bento de Gua, Ferdinand Magellan, or Pedro Teixeira? Ferdinand Magellan. Which Cuban singer helped popularize salsa music worldwide? Albita Rodriguez, Gloria Estefan, or Celia Cruz? Celia Cruz. Which natural wonder is known for its layered red rock formations? The Wave, Devil's Tower, or the Grand Canyon? The Grand Canyon. Which Australian director created Mad Max Fury Road? Peter Weir, Buzz Luhrmann, or George Miller? George Miller. Which Japanese automaker has become a leader in hybrid technology? Mitsubishi, Mazda, or Toyota? Toyota. What does NATO's Article 5 declare about member defense? Attack on one is attack on all, attack on one is a provocation to all, or attack on one is high alert for all. Attack on one is attack on all. What material are the royal palace doors in Fez, Morocco? Copper, brass, or gold? And they are brass. Question 89. Which artist studied architecture before designing modern furniture? Richard Archwager, William Kent, or Frank Stella? Frank Stella. Where did the U.S. Senate first meet before moving to Washington? Richmond, Concord, or New York City? New York City. Which Chilean poet wrote passionate surrealistic verses? Rubén Darío, Nicolás Guillén, or Pablo Neruda? Pablo Neruda. Which musician's record label gave them the nickname Tough Gong? Desmond Decker, Bob Marley, or Jimmy Cliff? Bob Marley. What temperature and water type is moved to the North Atlantic by the Gulf Stream ocean current? Warm salty, cold salty, or warm fresh water? Warm salty water. What color dress is worn by Emma Stone in La La Land's A Night on the Town film dance sequence? Blue, yellow, or red? Yellow. What was the first colony built by Mayflower pilgrims? Plymouth, Roanoke, or Jamestown? Plymouth. Where in Italy are the bronze Gates of Paradise doors? Rome, Milan, or France? Florence. What English tax was charged by personal wealth rather than income? Floor plan tax, window tax, or roof height tax? The window tax. In which country is the majority of the Ovs Lake? Mongolia, Russia, or China? Mongolia. Which Italian car brand is known for the 8C and 12C series? Abarth, Lancia, or Maserati? Maserati. Question 100. Which novel was written by Japanese author Banana Yoshimoto? Patio, study, or kitchen? Kitchen. And our bonus question. Which dance style uses the point shoe? Let us know the answer in the comments. And of course, how well you did with our quiz task, Einstein rewards. Thanks for playing, and we will see you next time. Bye bye.